Their Majesties call before them Baron Hrafn Breiðskeggr.
I love this guy.
Your Majesty, Your Highnesses, people of the known world, I bring before you Baron Hrafn Breiðskeggr, companion of the Order of the Silver Crescent, companion of the Order of the Golden Mantle, companion of the Order of the Iron Bell and Sable Bell of Carillion, 6th Baron of the Barony of Carillion, Patriarch of House Erlenstaber, and giver of parachutes to ravens. He comes to answer this kingdom's call to service as he ever has and he ever will.
You go there.
She's going to stand.
Stand.
You have some business.
Yes.
One moment. You might need to stand. Yes, Master.
Yes. No. All right.
At the very beginning, he's been wonderful. Started strong. Through 2 years of hell, you pushed hard. You did everything it took to make yourself better and include the people around you, making them better. With that, I say one thing having to do with one of my favorite mentors. Keep moving forward. I release you so that you can move forward.
Got some mileage.
You have been released from your service relationship. What is the word? I'm blanking. Yeah.
Like you've never done.
So please have a seat. Thank you.
We would have your answer.
Wholeheartedly, yes, Your Majesty.
Yes.
All right, good. All right.
Do we have a member of the Order of the Laurel?
Your Majesties, I bring words from Mistress Kaylee McWhite, who could not attend due to illness. Your Majesties, Your Highnesses, and assembled gentles, I am she is Kaylee McWhite, companion of the Order of the Laurel and companion of the Order of the Pelican. Unfortunately, as I am unable to attend today, please accept this message through my humble and soft-spoken friend, Kennari.
It's okay.
Hrafn may not realize it, but I met him 15 years ago at a demo. The locals called it Wet Windsor Fair for a reason. And lo, Thor did make his presence known and blessed the festivities with the gift of a bath for all present, archers, fencers, and fighters alike, all doused from the same storm. And we had fun between outbursts, sharing the same event, doing what we love in our separate fields, yet together at the same time. Barely 3 years later, my husband and I would accept Carillion's invitation to camp with them at Penzance. Certainly, Thor seemed to enjoy Hrafn's home group a lot. The Sea of Carillion stands as testament to that. Before you is a man whose patronage of the arts is much like Thor's own blessings of rain upon the fields and forests of the east, nourishing those around him with a positive support structure. He provides for artisans with a kind word and is willing to listen to those same artisans that he too may learn a craft. As you can see before you, he has made improvements to his kit through the years, including through his own hand or through the hands that he too may learn a craft. Or through the hands of the artisans he supports. I'm sorry, I wasn't facing that wrong. This continued gift of patronage, his unending thirst of knowledge, and the continuing desire to improve himself is honorable, right, and true. And for these reasons, I say I am honored to be his peer. And I would join my own words with that. I'm so happy for you. This is a good thing you do, Your Majesty.
Is there a member of the Order of the Chivalry who would speak for this person? Oh, yeah?
Oh, really?
Yeah? I mean, you aim high. I'm almost insulted.
I am Enriquez Sandalia Corvo, known in these lands as the Yokojin of Iron Skies. And I would speak for this man and his chivalry. I am Bushi. That means I am samurai. Samurai means to serve. There are few that have served our kingdom in the way that Hrafn has served. I have stood with our armies a number of times as a commander, as a general, and we train and we teach. We have practices, and Hrafn comes to me and he says, "What can I do? Where do you need me? Where can our people go to learn the skill, to hone their claws, to face the dragon?" He does this without my asking. He does this for Eastern people, that we may train our edges and hone our claws, that we may give the tiger throne victory. And he does this without asking, because it is a soldier's job to serve, and he serves us well. Your Majesty, this man is my peer. I commend him.
We are a member of the Order of Defense.
Your Majesties, by your hand, I am Master Thomas Delbrook.
Please come forward, Master Thomas.
The words I bring are from afar. I shall begin. Your Majesties, I, Maestro Pasquale Delamar, will claim the right to speak for this amazing man as a member of the Order of Defense. I regret that I am unable to be here in person, but send these words in my stead to have you know my feelings on this deserving candidate. His Excellency Hrafn Breiðskeggr joins the Pelican ranks of an amazing core group of Carillion citizens who have kept the barony running like a well-oiled machine over the past 15 years or so. His time as Baron was just the most visible part of his service to us, but by no means his only service. One needs only look up his wiki to see how long the list of service he has provided over the years. Its breadth and scope, both big and small, speaks to his desire to be helpful to others. His dedication to the people of Carillion and the East can be easily documented with a reputation of someone dependable and always willing to lend a helping hand, or even take the reins and run with the lead. He is, in my mostly humble opinion, it's Pasquale after all, the best type of leader there is. One that leads by example and has the determination to complete any given task. This was never more prevalent when he was Carillion's Raton Marshal and I the Rapier Marshal. Together we would show up at Quail Hill Scout Camp each week to varying degrees of participation at times. At the time, Carillion was definitely in a rebuilding slump of local Raton combatants. But Hrafn showed up week after week, would bring the loaner gear and be there to work with whomever showed up. Every local marshal who has ever been in a position, no matter what the activity they marshal, understands this situation and how you have to endure the feelings of, it'll be so much easier to just go home. And yet he persevered. If I knew nothing else about this man than this story, that would be enough to be speaking for him. Because for most people, it's easy to show up when it's fun or engaging for themselves. But showing up time and time again to make it easy, fun, or engaging for someone else, that's what makes Hrafn my peer.
Is there a member of the Order of the Rose who would speak for him?
You thought that was good.
Terribly left out.
Hi. I'm going to speak about you. I'm going to speak about courtesy, which is the job of the Rose. I often find it difficult to speak about courtesy because it is a concept. It is a behavior. It is something that we do in our interactions with each other. And I find that when you come across courtesy, you know it. Hrafn has given me a gift in my time coming to Pelican, where, without knowing who I was, opened up his arms and said, "How can I help?" And I asked him to be on my guard because I trust him. And I trust that his comportment will be maybe more reverent than mine. And that I would be safe with him because I trust him. I trust that he has the best interest of the East in mind. I trust that he'll tell me what I need to hear. I trust that he will take care of himself, because that is something that we often forget to do when we have service-minded people. But he has figured out how to take care of himself, I think. And I believe that you have the ability to say no. And that is a gift. I find you to be an extraordinary human. And I find that the roses are jealous that I get to have this honor. But that's because you are special. And your service to the crowns of the East, the service to the baronies in the East, and the service to the East as a fighting community, it shows that you belong here and you belong with this order. So I tell myself that it is a great idea. Something about that right now. But we have one more order to listen to. But I feel like I've made up my mind.
I still need convincing.
But I want to say, I'm grateful to call you my friend. And I appreciate your Hrafn-ness.
It's all the hair.
Yes.
It's a lot of the hair.
And I appreciate having you in my life. But you are totally fired from the guard.
How dare you?
So we have one more.
Is there a member of... You've been talking to yourself.
Okay, sorry.
Can I get a pelican?
Your Majesty,
Woohoo!
Your Highnesses,
That's that.
people of the East,
All you.
I am Pagan Graham, companion of the Pelican and the Laurel,
Yes, you are.
and I come bearing words of Ryan McWhite on behalf of the Order for Baron Hrafn.
No.
Oh no.
I very rarely
Yeah.
cry.
Guess what? Just hold it for me.
I'm not a Hufflepuff. You believe what I got to deal with from the right hand? Yeah.
Good people of the East, I am Baron Ryan McWhite, companion of the Order of the Pelican. I met Hrafn Mowgli years ago over coffee on a quiet morning in a quiet corner of a quiet camp at Pelican. The quiet corner was owned by our friends Wolfgang and Taisha. There was only one rule: no talkie until coffee. We'd wake up, stagger over, wait for French presses, sip coffee, and come back to life. Soon after, Hrafn and I, the only fighters in the camp, would stagger into our armor, and wander out to the field. Wake up, coffee with Bob, go fight. Come back to camp, shower, evening activities, sleep, repeat. But as time went on, I saw this fighter change. It wasn't enough to wake up, fight, party, sleep, repeat. He started doing more, and more, and more. Teaching, taking on odd jobs in the barony, growing in skill and leadership. Then he took on one of the hardest jobs in the barony. Along with Ryan likes to screw up names, Isla, he became its landed nobility. Through all, Hrafn has grown into every bit the Pelican I am. But my friend Hrafn, you and I learned probably the most important lesson from Wolfgang. There's no problem so large that the solution can't start with a good cup of coffee and 20 minutes alone. Together, silently, and with our thoughts. I know if he were here, he'd be bouncing that little bounce of his, waiting to rush the stage at the head of the order, about to be called in once I finish blathering on. So I won't make his spirit wait anymore. Your Majesties, this man's my friend. This man is my brother. This man is my peer. Thank you. And for myself, I have to say, this is a good thing that you do today. I commend him to you highly.
The outside camp.
Their Majesties call before them the Order of the Pelican.
Come and get it. Camp's maintenance. I'm of the belief there are 2 pieces of gift.
Do we have a medallion?
Would you mind if I sat next to you?
Wow.
I'm a tired Pelican.
Is this a gift or like?
We have a lovely hood, Mr.
No, we have
Oh,
another.
sorry. I didn't realize it was 2. They never tell us. Shh. Back up, medallion. I'm not gonna fit over in there.
Yeah.
Oh, why?
Come through.
It's out, nothing.
And do we have?
A hood.
A hood.
We're gonna pass the hood.
Do you want to help me with that?
Steve's why we brought up. Show it off first. Yeah, can we get rid of some of your stuff? Sorry. Yep, thank you. Yeah, I told you I was going.
Keep unfolding. You're good. Keep unfolding.
Get there.
Oh, very nice.
I love you.
This was made by Mistress Taisha. Baroness Taisha.
Come on. Not trying to
Merit. And then we can take her out. She's in the room.
All right, thank you. Okay, good.
We have some words. Oh, we're gonna
We got some wood first.
As the skyfire dwindles for the season, the stout-hearted Hrafn Breiðskeggr is called before the Tiger Throne. From the cradle of Caroleon, he has created community across the southern region, serving as seneschal of the keep by the endless sea, and supporting armored combat and combat archery throughout the kingdom as a multidisciplined marshal. No task escapes his attention, tackling any work placed before him with a willing heart and a helping hand. To honor him for these deeds, do the monarchs of the East, Ionis and Honig, call for these runes to be carved, commemorating Hrafn's admission to the Order of the Pelican, and conferring upon him these patent arms, Profess Argent and Sable, to Ravens Volan, to Chief, and to Thor's Hammer counterchange within a border gules. Done this 20th day of November, Anno Societatis 56, in 100 Minutes War, in the Shire of Rusted Woodlands. Scroll by Mariette de Bretagne.
We would have your field piece. Your Majesties, I swear and I promise to continue to serve you and the kingdom with my words, my counsel, my back, and in times of war, my bow. For as long as you shall have me, or until I am no longer on this earth.
We hear your words, we know them to be true.
And want you to keep your arrows borrowing.
We know that you have a never-ceasing fidelity, and that should be rewarded with our own comfort and our own shelter, our home, our heart, are all there.
2 blocks away. You are beloved of the kingdom. You are beloved of us. We are proud. It's our hands and signatures against the sign of scroll that's your eyes are focused. And we do not exist nor do these crowns work without your faith and your trust in the presence of all over the world.
For Master Hrafn Breiðskeggr, newest companion of the Order of the Pelican. Viva! Viva!